It is finally 6:50. Welcome to the live stream for anyone who's jumping on. I am going live in two different locations right now. Um, yeah, I just started the Facebook one and now I'm starting the YouTube one. I tested this before, so there shouldn't be any echoing between the two live streams. Um, uh, Facebook has a new policy now where you only do where live streams are only up for like about a month and then they go down. So luckily there will be a YouTube version, so I can always go back and anyway. And not the first time I've done this. I've done commentary on the Back to the Future movies a year ago with me and Madeline, and Madeline's my sister, so that was fun. I've actually rewatched those recently. Those were we gave we gave interesting commentary. My sister's not going to join us for Once Upon a Time. I do have some Once Upon a Time posters, but it is a pain in the butt because so I'm at my desk right now, and as you see, I know these are all Back to the Future posters, but it takes forever to put them up. I've tried doing that once before where I took them down, and I did not enjoy putting them back up. And since this is going to be a recurring thing, I don't want to have to worry about doing that every week. So I do have Once Upon a Time posters. Maybe I could flip my laptop around. Ignore the messy room at the moment. Oh, whoops, there we go. See, I do have Once Upon a Time posters. I do have some Once Upon a Time posters, and but I didn't want to have to bother taking my Back to the Future ones down, so that's why they're not on this wall. As far as as far as other merchandise, I have Once Upon a Time shirts, but I couldn't find them. When I was a teenager, I owned Once Upon a Time shirts. One was Storybrooke, and one was a picture of all the characters. And then ever since my mission, I have not been able to find them. So I have to sadly say I don't have any Once Upon a Time merchandise for this live stream. But, nevertheless, we're going to make it a Once Upon a Time night. Even if there's nothing in the video that's Once Upon a Time related. Just ignore those Back to the Future posters in the background. Anyway, I'll cover them since we don't need to show those. Anyway, but yeah, I do have Once Upon a Time posters that I put up. They're just on the wrong wall. I'm not going to bother switching my bed and desk around. So, anyway, do got some cleaning to do. But yeah, we will start the show at 7:00. So the reason why I said 6:50 is that I want everyone to jump on at 6:50. Give everyone 10 minutes to jump on so that we could start the show at 7. When this aired on TV, they actually started a couple minutes early. We'll just wait until it's 7:00. But yeah, I figured announcing the live stream was going to start at 6:50 would give people time to jump on so that if they're 10 minutes late, they're not going to miss the show. Because of copyright, I have headphones, and I'm not going to be showing footage of the show because of copyright laws. So you have to have your own copy of the movie, your own copy of the TV show. TV show, not movie. You have to have your own copy of the show, whether that's on Disney Plus, Hulu, DVD, Blu-ray. But yeah, I will be doing it from Disney Plus. And I'll tell you guys when to push play so that we're in sync with the commentary. We're gonna not talk too much during it because I've invited people who have not seen the show before, so we'll try to be quiet as much as we can. So yeah, but we're gonna enjoy a fun time, and as long as you have a copy of the show, it's not gonna be boring. Otherwise, you'll be staring at a silent face for 2 hours and 15 minutes because so just a reminder, we're going the show is very long. It's going to take us a year to do this, so we're going to do this every week for a little over a year actually, but still pretty much a year. We'll be doing 3 episodes a night for the most part. If you saw my most recent post, one of my most recent posts, we will be doing 4 episodes on some weeks. And so yeah. So just to even it out, because Once Upon a Time, it's a show with 22 episodes a season. And if you do the math, 3 episodes a Sunday, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. It doesn't make sense to stop right before a season finale. So I figured when we get there, we're going to watch episodes 19 through 22 instead of 19 through 21. So some weeks we will do 4 episodes. I've organized it out. Only 10 of the 56 weeks, because a year is only 52. So we're going to go 4 weeks overtime. So a year from now, on April 13th, we still have 4 weeks left, right? Of the show. Well, actually, no, because we might skip some weeks depending on holidays and stuff. But still, we'll have like a month or 2 left of the show. And so, with that said, out of the 56 weeks we do watch Once Upon a Time, 10 of those will be 4 episodes, but we'll mostly do only 3 a night. So each episode is 45 minutes. So, but you've seen movies that were like 2 hours long, so I'm pretty sure you can sit with me for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Along on that note, we will do a Q&A at the end. Not on the weeks we do 4 episodes. If we do 4 episodes, it's going to take 3 hours exactly. And so on the weeks we do 4 episodes, we're just going to end the live stream right at 10. But on the weeks we do 3 episodes, at 9:15, I'm going to do a Q&A, and we will go, and then for 15 minutes, and then we will go till 9:30. So that's how long we're going for tonight. So yeah, we will get started in about 3 minutes with the show. So just giving more people time to hop on. I'm only seeing one person watching right now. That's okay. I know how unpopular I am. Oh, that's YouTube actually. I should check Facebook. Facebook doesn't actually tell me who's watching, but something interesting. So my Facebook live stream says it started 7.5 minutes ago. My YouTube one is 7 minutes, so they're 30 seconds apart. I started the Facebook one first, and then I spent 30 seconds getting the YouTube one set up. So, so anyway, speaking of which, I got to make sure I have Disney Plus pulled up, because that would not be good if I didn't. So yeah, I got everything set up. Except I forgot to get a tab ready for Disney Plus. So hang on, let me hurry. We'll start in 2 minutes, so pretty shortly. So for anyone who is watching this later, hang on. For anyone who's watching this later, if you're watching the show for the first time, we'll try to not ruin your experience. For anyone who's reliving the show, feel free to just chat in the comments. I'm obviously not going to say anything out loud so that the newcomers can enjoy the show, but feel free to chat in the comments. We'll be starting in 1 minute now, so I almost have the show ready. So yeah, if you thought we were starting the show at 6:50, no, that was just to give people time to jump on. We're going to start right at 7, and then we should be done at 9:15. So, all right, once upon a time. There we go. All right, I have it pulled up, and when time comes, we will start. So we still have 1 minute according to my clock. So we will still wait, but shortly we will start. So really quick though, before we all start. Disney Plus takes a while to load. And so, really quick, if everyone could just click on the pilot episode but push pause at 0 seconds. That way, when we all push play, it's synced. Because if you just go to the episode picture and you click on the title, Disney Plus loads and loads and loads for like 10 or 20 seconds. So, if you don't want that to happen, push the pilot episode but push pause at 0 seconds, and I'll tell you when to push play. Let's see. Anyway, okay. So I have headphones in so that none of the sound gets into the live stream, because I don't want to get copyrighted. So yeah, you're not going to hear sound or see any footage of the show because of the law. So yeah, hopefully you have your own copy. Um, uh, and I hope you have the pilot episode ready. And I hope you have it at 0 minutes and 0 seconds. It is now officially 7 o'clock, so we are just going to get started. Um, so yeah, hang on. I'll tell you when to push play. Okay. All right, we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. There was an enchanted forest filled with all the classic characters we know, or think we know. One day they found themselves trapped in a place where all our happy endings were stolen. Our world. This is how it happened. Classic, starting with the end of a fairy tale. Snow White waking up from a sleeping curse. Great way to start a show. Start with the end of a movie instead of the beginning. True Love's Kiss. Here comes the evil queen. The actor's name is Lana Parrilla, and she does very good. Probably better than the Disney live action evil queen. Snow White holding a sword. That was new at the time. If you thought this was all gonna take place in fairy tale land, you were wrong. Welcome to our world. For anyone wondering, this kid's name is Henry. I'm not gonna say anymore because I don't wanna spoil, but that's who that kid is. And meet our character, Emma Swan. I guess even saying names might be spoiling, so I'll stop saying names. AKA October 23rd. That's when this episode aired. So her birthday is October 23rd, 2011. I love this part. Shh, stop me if I get this wrong. Our character catches criminals. Yep. She loves catching criminals. Bill Bonds person. Emma Swan, actor name Jennifer Morrison. Yeah, Jennifer Morrison. You probably know her from How I Met Your Mother. What else is she in? I don't know. I only know her from Once Upon a Time, but she's a great actor. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. If you got the memo, she's an orphan, so she doesn't have family. It's kind of sad. Imagine celebrating your birthday all alone, and you have to buy yourself a birthday cupcake. This is very important for the premise of the show. This cupcake is gonna come back later, so at some point later in the show. So this is when Emma's life will. This is when everything in Emma's life is gonna change because of this one wish. Boom. If someone comes to my door and says they're my daughter, I'm not gonna believe them. That would do it. That is a big part of the show. She has a superpower. Emma's superpower, she knows when someone's lying. It's a big thing in the show, so remember that. It's a good skill to have back in fairy tale land. Does that tell you something? Emma Swan. Storybrooke. The real town that this is based off on is Stevenston, Canada, for anyone who wants to know. I'm hoping to go there one day. They took they took down all the signs and stuff, but The Lion King is not gonna be in Once Upon a Time. Everyone in Once Upon a Time is mostly human. A few people aren't, but there's Jiminy Cricket. He's one of the few that are not human in flashback. They don't have lions on here. Henry left his book in the car on purpose. The wolf in a road is a popular thing in the show as well. It happens. There's Geppetto and Pinocchio making the tree. The car says here. I miss elementary school. We don't even do chalkboards anymore. It's crazy. That would be hard to do in real life. Sword fight with a baby in your hands. I probably wouldn't I would probably risk getting the baby cut or something. I'm not as offensive as charming is. Poor charming. You could tell Emma doesn't fully believe. I mean, that's what makes a great story. You can't make it everyone believe at first. It takes time. Or in this case, not a movie, but a season. Some stuff take an entire TV show. The actor who plays Henry, his name is Jared Gilmore. So Jennifer Morrison, Emma Swan, Jared Gilmore, Henry. And Lana Parrilla, the evil queen. We shall see. I will warn you. Don't expect happy endings for a long time. She wasn't talking about Sheriff Graham. That's our evil queen right there. That book is something special, that's for sure. Plays a key role in this season. I used to have a real version of that book at once, but when I was a teenager, I was not very good at keeping track of my possessions. So I probably do have Once Upon a Time things lying around somewhere. I just don't know where they are at. Nice illustrations and drawings too. It's a book you can find on eBay. Prince Charming in a coma. Still 8:15. Not in real life, but in the show. It wouldn't be that late. We're still on the first episode. Meet Rumpelstiltskin in the real world. It's gonna be longer than that. Not really. Spoiler there. There wouldn't be a show if she was only there for a week. And the clock finally moves. Time is no longer frozen. Cool. Credits. You should be at the credits right now if we start at the same time. Um, so feel free to get the next episode ready. But don't push play yet. I have something I want to quickly say before we start the next episode. Whoops. Okay. So so with episode 2, make sure you have your timestamp at 0. Make sure you already pushed the episode so you don't have to wait for Disney Plus to load. But make sure you have your episode ready to push play 0 and make sure it's the timestamp is at 0. So a couple quick things. You'll have time at 9:15 to explain what you think about the show. We're gonna get right into episode 2, but a couple quick things. The actors of Snow White and Charming, Jennifer Goodwin and Josh Dallas, they got married in real life because of the show. Imagine, so you're an actor, you're also a famous actor, you're a celebrity actor, you're in a TV show, and then you fall in love with one of your co-stars. That never usually happens, right? Snow White and Charming married in real life and they have kids. So this show is what brought them together. And from what you just saw in the pilot, it's kind of a special show. It talks about family, hope, faith, you know, kind of, it's kind of interesting. But not very many shows talk about family, hope, faith, and belief and all that. And so when it comes to fairy tales, if I were to find it remotely anything close to the gospel or church or anything, uh, that would probably be Once Upon a Time, because it's one of those few shows that kind of is centered on families, and it's a good one to watch with your family. I've known when I watched this live, I knew a lot of people who watched this show when they were little kids and watched it with their parents. It was kind of cool. Our entire family watched it together every Sunday night. It's kind of memories that I'll cherish forever. So yeah, so there's that. Snow and Charming got married in real life, and then um, there was something else about the show that I was gonna say, but can't think of it right now. So I guess we'll just get right into episode two. But so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the first episode, because we're gonna jump right into the next, and there's it's a long show, so we have to do more than one. So um, so yeah, it's pretty awesome. We're gonna get right into episode two. Oh, I know what I was gonna say now. So before we push play, really quick, the actor who plays Charming, Josh Dallas, originally they were going to kill him in the show flashback pilot, and they were just going to have him recur as a character in flashbacks instead of in the present. But after they wrote episode 1, they changed their mind, so that's why we saw him die and now he's in a coma, because they ultimately decided to keep him in the present day. So I don't know, just an interesting detail there. But if you haven't guessed already, you should probably hopefully have a good idea of which real life character is a fairy tale and which fairy tale character they are. Snow White is the school teacher. The evil queen is the mayor. Rumpelstiltskin, he owns the town. I think you probably picked up on that. If not, I didn't mean to spoil. But anyway, it's one cool thing about the show is you can kind of guess which fairy tale character these people are. And so as we go through episode 2, feel free to guess in the comments which fairy tale character each person is. And on that note, we're going to start episode 2 now. So, uh, so hopefully you have your timestamp at 0, and not when I say 1. When I say now, push play. So 3, 2, 1. Now is when you push play. Not when I say 1. When I say now. So okay, we're gonna push play in 3, 2, 1. Episode 2 now. You haven't seen the intro yet. This is our Once Upon a Time intro right here. That was not in the pilot. That's going to be our every episode intro. Do, 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 do. And as you saw where we left off, time is moving. It's no longer frozen. All right, I'm going to be quiet now. The thing you love most is the title of this episode. Feel shy, just like we feel. Don't wear fear. Mm. On by, by, by. Pages are missing. Clock is chiming after 28 years. Yep, Emma's still in town. Sorry, Regina. Mothers, that's a popular line in the show. If you're gonna quote once, if you're gonna quote Once Upon a Time, that's a line you would say. You know, you have no idea what I'm capable of. Bum 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 bum. Great music too. I have it like nailed in my head from child. Two villains fighting. Crossover. Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, Evil Queen from Snow White. Something I didn't mention is Once Upon a Time is good with their crossovers. Things you would never see in a Disney movie. First villain crossover. That's how she got the curse. She makes a great villain, Lana Parrilla. It didn't work. Still a statue even in the present day. I get it now. It's poison. They have a good bond. The strong word. He is just a boy. The evil queen, Regina. Good transition, by the way. Henry Smart. Don't believe her. What? Henry's a smart boy. Revenge. Two mothers fighting over custody. This show does flashbacks almost in every episode. You'll get answers to that thing later in the show. Snow White's fault for the evil queen's suffering. My laptop was giving me a warning that it was about to die, so I had to rush and plug it in. Luckily, I did because I don't want our stream to be ruined. Sheriff has a point. Ouch. Regina planned that all along. Exactly. Flashbacks will tell you later on. She got many questions on what Snow White did to her. I'm not going to say anything for any new people out there. It is something tragic. Exactly. She's evil and dark. Has to kill her own father to get what she wants. They don't even know their mother and daughter. It's kind of cool. Imagine seeing your own parents and you don't even know they're your parents. She's innocent in general. Burn them in the fireplace. Oh, and mother and son bonding. You gotta love those moments. It's a family show, as I said earlier. Poor Regina. You had to go through with it. Or at this point, I should call her the evil queen, but her name's Regina in Fairy Tale Land as well. Now, here's a little plot twist. You gotta pay attention here. Just wait a second. Wait a second. I'm not gonna say anything until it shows it. I'm assuming you're watching this at the same time I'm watching it. Oh, dang it, didn't show it. Wait, no, it is. It is gonna show it. Wait a second. Wait a second. Regina's father's name. Be ready for it. You probably didn't see this coming. Wait for it. Henry! Regina named her son after her father. How about that? She's staying. It was your father's. Remember the deal. You have to listen to him whenever he says please. Rumpelstiltskin, since he's the one who invented the curse, he's not cursed. So we kind of already know everything. All right, that was episode 2. And now we're on the credits. Okay, before we start episode 3, make sure you push the episode so you don't have to wait for Disney Plus to load or whatever. But um have your timestamp at 0 seconds. And yeah, All right. That was episode 2. The thing you love most, the thing Regina loves most is her father. And she gave up her father's life to cast the curse. Kind of tells you how evil she is. But Once Upon a Time is known for redemption, and and everyone has a chance to be good and repent, right? So we'll be seeing a lot of that in the show later on. But just remember, we're in season 1 right now, so it's going to be probably a while. So anyway, but we're gonna get into episode 3 now, called Snow Falls. This will be our last episode for tonight. For anyone who can't stay longer, feel free to watch episode 3 on your own time. But for everyone else who can stick around for one more episode, we're gonna start episode 3, and then next week we'll do 4, 5, and 6. And all that. So yep. And so in order for us to be done in 1 year, we have to do 3 episodes a day. I mean 3 episodes a week. So all right. So put your timestamp at 0. We're going to start episode 3. Not when I say 1, when I say now. So 3, 2, 1, now. I just pulled my headphones out. Whoops. There we go. Episode 3. It's called Snow Falls. This aired on November 6th. Episode 2 was October 30th, and episode 1 is October 23rd. I am very good with Once Upon a Time and its air dates. This was the first episode after Halloween in 2011. That's how Snow White and Charming met. That's a lot of kids. Hmm. Yeah, Dr. Wells, you're cheating. Luckily, Dr. Wells is not Snow White's true love or Mary Margaret. I mean, making bad decisions, that guy is. Nope, he did not even pay. He was seeing another woman. No, it's not. True love ain't easy. She's gonna read your mind. Get well. Patience, hospital patients. It's sad. I just said what Snow White said. Mary Margaret said. For anyone wondering, I got a few comments in the chat wondering how I'm watching the show. It's Disney Plus. I'm using my laptop to watch the show. I have multiple tabs up. One Chrome tab is for the show, one's for YouTube, and one's for Facebook. So sorry I had to say that, but people were wondering. Charming just touched Snow White's hand, in case you're wondering where we're at in episode 3. He's waking up! I need to look at the comments more because I haven't been looking at the comments in a while. Treason, murderer. Evil Queen wants Snow White dead. Wanted posters. True that. Queen's not as charming as he is. He's waking up. She doesn't believe he's Prince Charming, but she knows he's waking up. He's missing. Regina, what did you do this time? Sure you are. Sure you are, Regina. Hmm. She knows everything. Hmm. Not those woods. Not the Enchanted Forest woods. This was 30 years ago. If you remember in the Snow White fairy tale, after the huntsman spares Snow White's life, she's on the run from the queen. This takes place before she meets the seven dwarfs, but after the huntsman. She's not wrong. Snow White ruined her life. You'll find out later on. It keeps getting brought up. You're probably like, what happened? So yeah, this takes place after the huntsman, but before the seven dwarfs. Just like the live action Snow White, this goes with the idea that Snow White and Charming met a few times before the true love's kiss. It wasn't just love at first sight kind of thing. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of is here, but they met a lot before the marriage. Let me just say that. She's a bandit on the road. Kind of like the Snow White. She's a warrior, not a damsel in distress kind of thing. Uh-oh, your dust. Uh-oh. Charming has it. The huntsman was nice. These knights are not. That's a popular saying. As long as I can remember. I don't remember when I started this or that. As long as I remember. It's I've been doing Sorry, I should be quiet. Nope, she did not find her parents. I've been doing this for as long as I remember. For as long as I can remember. It's kind of another quote from the show. They're getting close. The troll bridge. This is also a big part of how they met and fell in love. Charming saves Snow White's life at the when she was being captured by the Black Knights. This is where Charming or Snow White repays the favor. Oh no! Go back, save Charming. Charming saved Snow White, and then Snow White saved Charming's life. They saved each other. They didn't have to, but they did. How could you let Prince Charming die? Funny fact about the cartoon Snow White, the Disney animated Snow White, they never gave Prince Charming a name. Once Upon Once Upon a Time does that. James Charming. Plot twist. Hint, hint. They're going to end up being together. We saw that in the first episode. YouTube and Facebook. And there's no echoes. Sorry, guys, I'm talking to my sister. Snow and Charming, aren't they cute? My family was out of town. They just got back. We got 10 minutes. We'll finish this episode. I'll talk to them later. Henry's grounded, of course, because he ran away to help them find David. That's just the curse. The curse is making them husband and wife. That's just the curse. The curse is making them husband and wife. That's just the curse. Somebody's on my live stream right next to me. That's coming from you, Regina, the person who loves tearing people apart. Here's something that's kind of controversy here. Let me just wait until the episode shows you. But wait for it. Snow White has Prince Charming's wedding ring, and in the curse, they're not supposed to be married in the real world. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Who knows? Maybe the curse gave her some fake husband that gave her the ring, and I don't know. Curse has really good at making fake memories. Maybe it gave her memories of a false husband that passed away or something, and that was the wedding ring of it or something. I don't know. Yep, it looks like Emma's moving in. They don't even know their mother and daughter, and they're finally living together. They don't even know their mother and daughter, and they're finally living together. Man, I love this show. Oh, that's credits. That's it. All right, that was episode 3. Snow Falls. We just finished it. So that will be it for tonight. That was our first 3 episodes of Once Upon a Time. For it is now 9:15. I will keep this live stream on for 15 more minutes. If any of you have any questions before you go, I'm happy to answer them. But in case there's anyone watching this, either they just watched it or they're watching it later this week, I don't want to spoil it for any newcomers, so I'll answer your questions as long as it's spoil free for anyone new in this live stream. So, how did you like the first 3 episodes of Once Upon a Time? Obviously, if you're one of those that are not new, you probably haven't seen this in years, and it's good to refresh your memory. So it still feels like you probably are watching it for the first time, even if you're not, right? So how was it like reliving the show for those who are old, but like myself? But for those who are new, how did you like it? Did you enjoy the premise? What was your favorite part? You know, did you like how the show is organized? So every episode, there's going to be flashbacks, and they have something to do with the present day storyline. Um, and so, but like, what's kind of cool is that this show takes place after the curse is cast, right? And we're rooting for Emma to break the curse, right? Um, so that's what's happening. But like, with this being about fairy tales and all, you have a great opportunity to do things that you couldn't do in a Disney movie. Like, how did Snow White and Prince Charming meet? How did the evil queen cast her curse? How did Cinderella's father die? Well, actually, that's actually in the actually in the cartoon Disney movie, they don't show the parents' deaths in either Snow White or Cinderella. They do in the live action films, but not anyway. So anyway, there's just all these questions. Like, let me think of another one. I'm not going to try to spoil anything. How did Prince Charming? Yeah, no, I'm not going to say that one. But from what you saw in the first 3 episodes, how did Snow White ruin the evil queen's life? How did the evil queen become evil? How did I'm trying to think of other stuff besides Snow White. How did it's hard to I keep thinking of examples, but they haven't been introduced in the show yet, so I want to be quiet. Oh, how did Jiminy Cricket become a cricket? Because he's a human, which means he started out as a human, but how did he become a cricket? Jiminy Cricket. See, Once Upon a Time's good at answering these questions. There's flashbacks, and so you get a little more detail on the fairy tale while also getting present storyline of rooting Emma on breaking the curse, right? While we're having everything happen in the real world, we're also getting fairy tale flashbacks. And so with a little mix of fairy tale and a little mix of reality, it's kind of cool that way, right? But yeah, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, I'm happy to answer them within the last 15 minutes that we have. Um, the only thing I see in the chat is someone asking about where I'm watching the show. That's Disney Plus. That's where I'm watching the show right now. It's called Once Upon a Time. We just watched the first 3 episodes together. So yeah, started at 7. Started episode 2 at 7:45. Started episode 3 at 8:30, and we just finished at 9:15. So yeah. But yeah, I'm open for any questions. On any so our first 4 episode week will not be until the end of the season, so you don't have to worry about 4 episodes right now. But when that does happen, we will not be doing a Q&A, because if the 3rd episode ends at 9:15, do you know what happens if we start a 4th episode? We end at 10, and that's kind of late. And so when we do 4 episodes, we will not do a Q&A. But since we're only doing 3 tonight, this is why I'm still going live right now, giving you guys some time to ask your questions. What did you think about the show? It was pretty awesome, right? The ratings of the show um were in the 12 millions when the show started. 12.93 million viewers were watching the pilot episode live. And so that was pretty cool at the time of 2011. Now keep in mind, in 2011, I know we have a lot of live action Disney movies now, but back in 2011, I'll give you a list. Back in 2011, the only live action movies we had were 101 Dalmatians, 102, Alice in Wonderland, which came out in 2010, and I thought there was one more. Think no, that was it. Just those 3. There wasn't a lot of live actions at the time. And since Alice in Wonderland was a big hit in the box office, Disney it wasn't Disney's show at the time. Disney owns it now, but Once Upon a Time was actually its own separate thing before Disney owned it. ABC decided if Disney was turning their movies into a live action, why not make live actions of other characters? I know we have a live action Snow White. It's in theaters right now. But back when this show came on, Snow White live action was not even in the works. So they had this. So this is, so the writers, Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz, they're the writers and creators of the show. I don't know if you know this, but they wrote Lost. And so if you ever seen the TV show Lost, that's where they got their inspiration from. After coming from Lost, they wanted to do a show about fairy tales, and they wanted to see how these characters would look like in live action form. I know we kind of already know what they look like now, but this is before there were a lot of live action Disney movies, and so ABC wanted to take the first step into showing these live action fairy tales by creating this TV show. It's all centered on family and hope and belief and all that. But they had the idea before Disney. Well, I mean, besides Alice in Wonderland and 101 Dalmatians, I guess Disney had the idea first. But Once Upon a Time came out before live action Cinderella. Once Upon a Time came out before live action Maleficent. So it kind of, most of the fairy tales were a live action in Once Upon a Time before they were ever in Disney. And for those who do not like Disney live actions, do you think Once Upon a Time did better? You got to remember that it was 2011, so the quality might not be as good as 2025's technology. But for a show that came out in 2011, do you think it's better than the Disney live actions? I will always say Once Upon a Time is my favorite version of the fairy tales. I always said growing up it was better than Disney. Of course, ABC has a policy when a show ends, they only hold the rights for 2 years and then they give them away. So that's when Disney bought it, is that the show ended in 2018, which is not as long ago as the pilot was. Like, the show started in 2011, but it was so good that it lasted 7 years. And even the writers and actors themselves thought it was only going to go a few episodes, because a lot of good shows, don't last very long. The world is a wicked place, and people intend to move towards violence instead of wholesome family entertainment, right? And so with that in mind, a lot of shows that try to, kind of like I'd say with the church and the gospel, a lot of shows that try to center on family, hope, and belief, don't tend to last very long because the world is wicked and they don't, the viewership goes down. But this is one of those shows that managed to stay PG and run for 7 seasons and a spin-off series. So I don't know if you've seen the Arrowverse, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl. Um, you know how they have multiple TV shows? Once Upon a Time tried to do that same thing. They tried to make their own universe, and they made a Once Upon a Time in Wonderland TV show. But I don't want to break. I don't want to break the news because this is my favorite show, and I hate to say this about it. But Once Upon a Time in Wonderland did not turn out to be successful, and so after they made their first spin-off, it didn't turn out pretty well as a big franchise like the Arrowverse. But you still had one main show that was popular for 7 seasons. So even if you couldn't make other shows based off it, I mean, you have that Wonderland show, but it's only 13 episodes. So aside from that, if you could not make another show like Flash or Supergirl in the Arrowverse, if you could not make another show just as successful, you know, they had that at least main show, that one show that started it all, that lasted a long time. So, you know, they got lucky. They got lucky. And not a lot of shows last that long. Not a lot of good there's not a lot of good shows out there anymore, and not a lot of good shows last very, even if there are, you know, not a lot of shows last very long. And so, you know, we got very lucky. We got very lucky. And so anyway, the ratings were so good that ABC could not cancel it. So they begged the writers to keep making more episodes. They eventually got a whole season, and then they got renewed for season 2 and 3 and so on. Even though the spin-off show did not do as good as the original show, it is still a great show, and I can't wait to review that with you guys. That show did not air till season 3, so we're not going to get to it till season 3. I want you to have the same viewing experience as I had, so we're not going to watch that show until we get to season 3. But we're also not going to have the same exact experience either, because Once Upon a Time in Wonderland came out while season 3 was on the air, and it's hard to keep track of, like, jumping back and forth between TV shows and which episode came out first. Should I watch Wonderland episode 1 before season 3 episode 1? Should I watch season 3 episode 5 before Wonderland episode? Anyway, there's no way you can do it like that. And so obviously I'm not going to watch it while we're doing season 3 at the same time. But what I'm thinking about doing, someone else did this on YouTube. There's a lot of people you can find on YouTube who are watching Once Upon a Time for the first time, and it's nice seeing those first time reactions. I'm sad to say I grew up with the show, so it's not a first watch. But I'm hoping you still enjoyed watching these 3 episodes with me. I'm looking forward to next week, obviously. But on that note, there was one girl, first time reactor, that not everyone does Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, and not a lot of people know it exists. I even leave a comment in their videos, and they don't even review the show because I'm one against many. But for those who do review the Wonderland series, there was this one girl who wanted to do things as accurate as possible. And what she decided to do, I don't want to spoil it, but in season 3, there's a time jump. So, like, you know how every episode takes place right after the previous one? There's a time jump, and I'm talking about years. There's a time jump in the middle of the season, and I think when that time jump happens, I'm not going to spoil much. When that time jump happens, that's when we're going to do Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Some people do it before season 3, right after season 2. Some people do it after season 3. Some people wait until they finish the entire 7 seasons and do it. But I want to stay as accurate as possible. So we're going to do it in the middle of season 3, right after the year jump. So, sorry. That was all. I know I didn't spoil much, but that already kind of ruined a little bit, given the fact that I didn't want you to know that there would be a time jump some point in the future. But I just had to say that we will do the Wonderland series when we get to season 3. So because we're only doing 3 episodes a Sunday, and there's 22 episodes a season, which is going to take us 7 weeks to even get through season 1, 14 weeks to get through season 2. It's going to be, so let's see, to get halfway through season 3, it's going to be about 17, 18 weeks before we get to Wonderland. It's going to be a while. It's going to be about 4 months-ish. So don't worry about the Once Upon a Time in Wonderland show yet. Again, if you read my most recent post, there are these Once Upon a Time recap specials. No one, not even first-time reactors, react to these episodes on YouTube. But when I was watching this live, on TV, there was these Once Upon a Time season recaps, and they were really good constructed episodes. And I am upset that Disney Plus or any streaming service or any DVD puts them in the bonus features at least. They're really good episodes. Most of them are free. And so we will react to those ones as well. I know maybe some of you don't need a season recap or an arc recap, but I like these episodes regardless. So we will watch those. The first one's not until season 2. So again, 7 weeks to get through season 1. So we're not even going to get to the first special for 7 weeks. And then we're not going to get to Wonderland for 18 weeks. So it's going to be a while, but we will eventually watch those episodes. Looks like none of you guys had questions, so at least I chatted your ears off for the whole 15 minutes. Our time is up. It's 9:28. I'm going to end this live stream in 2 minutes. I'm sad that you guys didn't send any questions, but that's okay. I created my own Q&A, so if you had any questions and you didn't share them, I hope I answered them well without spoiling. I know this show from front to back, and I have everything memorized, so I know things, and I know a lot of quotes. I have some episodes memorized line for line. I could play them in my head, even to this day after years of not watching them. I could do that. I have trailers memorized. I have every single date of when each episode aired memorized. I know every single episode title without looking it up. I can't do this with any other show. My memory does not work anymore. But for some reason, just for Once Upon a Time, I have that kind of memory. I'm probably one of the only dedicated fans out there that has every episode title memorized, every date memorized, some certain episodes line by line memorized. The ones that are not memorized line by line, I still know the plot summary at least of each episode. But I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. So, especially since I invited new people to watch with me. So, I'm not a first-time reactor, but some of you viewers on here are technically a first-time reactor. And so I'm not going to spoil it for you. But for anyone who's looking for a first-time reactor, just look in the comments to see if any first-time reactors left a comment. But if not, then I don't know what to tell you. There's other first-time reactors that you can find on YouTube that obviously I'm not one of those, but I love doing commentaries. I love doing commentaries on Back to the Future. So I'm looking forward to doing more commentaries on Once Upon a Time now that we started the show. So on that note, we are going to wrap things up. It is 9:30 now. So that's a wrap up for Q&A. I look forward to seeing you guys next week for episodes 4, 5, and 6. We're gonna have our first princess crossover. We had our villain crossover with Maleficent and the Evil Queen, but I'm not spoiling too much. Just one hint for next time. We're gonna have our first princess crossover. So I'm gonna leave that to you. Which 2 princesses are gonna meet? So, until then, we'll see you guys next Sunday for our next live stream. It will be Easter, so I understand if you can't watch me live. But yeah, this live stream should be on my Facebook channel. It should be on my Facebook page for at least a month before it gets taken down. So you have a month to watch it. Same, but YouTube, it will be on there forever. So you can always watch it on YouTube. But until next week, have a great week. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. And we'll see you next Sunday for episodes 4, 5, and 6. All right. Bye, y'all. All right.